Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes indeed, welcome to the Vodafone pre-match as we get ready to hop into our first series of the day, first game of the day. Another look at lovely Poland right now. Brisk, beautiful, as I said earlier, but not here. That's not where we are. We are in Germany, and that's actually pretty nice because I'm warm and toasty and I feel all cozy inside as we get ready to hop into this OG versus Gambit. My lovely friends, how are you feeling about this match coming up? You excited for it?
I feel like this is the series that could go 1-1. Both of these teams kind of showed equal terms of skill, even though OG has been on the rise. If you look at how they performed, let's say in the minor qualifiers that we cast, they did extremely well. It feels like everything's gelling together, and there's not too many mistakes that they make.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm interested to see how the drafts go. I feel like both of these teams have the potential to pull out some slightly interesting heroes, and the sub-patch have shaken things up a little bit. MDL, we've been seeing some interesting picks. We literally just watched Vici pick Ricky. So there is some interesting stuff going on. And I feel like OG yesterday, they've been bringing out this Enchantress, they've been picking Enigma, the Ember Spirit started coming back in a little bit. I feel like OG are actually kind of, at least for this tournament, at the front of innovating a little bit more for this patch, which is a good look for them. I
feel like their picks are kind of consistent. It's mostly position 5 opener for No Tail, either Enchantress or Nature's Prophet, where he gets a Blightstone, keeps harassing the lane, just secures the lane for himself. We see Monkey King, they tend to get a good matchup for the mid lane. If not, then they put Monkey King on position 4. Jarex plays it. It's pretty simple for them. I think they might need to consider getting more heroes into their hero pool, especially in this patch where little things changed and more heroes became viable.
Well, we do have a quick look at the other team that we're going to be looking at. It's going to be Gambit, who, of course, have looked pretty hot, I would say, throughout the past couple of qualifiers. I think this is a team that's sort of been built up in the style of everybody playing together. To me, at least, it's always looked like Afro-Ninja's been one of the heroes that they either live or they die by him. Yeah. I don't know, is there any other standout players for either of you that you feel like is sort of the most important on this team?
Afterlife's been looking really good this event. His Doom was really, really good. The one game where I feel like Afro-Ninja really dropped the ball. Afterlife was kind of there to pick things up. They ended up losing that game, but I was really impressed by his Doom performance and looking forward to seeing what he's playing today.
Name a more iconic duo. Gambit and finishing the game around 30-minute mark. Like their drafts are always centered around, we're going to get the good early game, try to snowball from there, get the Roche and try to finish the game. But the thing is, with their recent style of picking, position 4 and 5, they don't have too much synergy together, and I feel they need to change it. We saw in yesterday's games where it was not very effective. Even some of the games that they won, it was not the greatest position 4 and 5 together.
Well, and it's interesting too because you talk about Gambit and being the team that just finishes the game early. On the other side of things, we got another team here, OG, that we can take a look at as well. And that was a team that all throughout TI was known for the comeback, the big, you know, sort of lose the early game, but then come back later and able to do it off the back of Ana. Now you've got ILTW that's playing a different role, and they have looked a little bit different. They've just been stomping through the qualifiers, and sometimes they've been ending the game at 17 minutes or something. So where do you see...
the minor qualifiers.
That's fair, right, of course.
The major qualifiers didn't do quite as...
But they beat the same team that they lost to in the major qualifiers in Vega, and they stomped them out of the tournament.
That's
so
true.
It does feel like they've turned over a new leaf. Do you feel like this is a team that's sort of going to be able to keep that momentum going?
They have the potential, right? It's impossible to argue with OG's potential now that they're the TI champions. Right. So I think they just need to find their form, find their confidence again. And I think they can keep this momentum going. We'll have to see what happens.
You can't expect them to win TI again. No one has ever done that.
No.
Somebody has to eventually, right? I mean, eventually.
Not sure. I don't know. It's a pretty like Herculean task winning it even just the once. So eventually
there will be enough players that somebody's got to do it. I feel like. Does TI die before somebody wins it twice? I don't.
What? Shut up, Gabe.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Dota's
think it's
gonna
gonna happen.
die
Are you
out.
trying to curse TI right now, Gabe?
Literally, I'm saying that
So what
somebody
you're
is
doing?
going to win it twice before that happens. That's the exact opposite of what I'm saying.
Sure.
It's not going to happen ever. We're just going to transition to Dota 2, from Dota 2 to Dota 3.
3, yeah.
Our
Alright.
kids are going to play Dota 4 probably.
Yeah.
Dota 322.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's happening. Well, a very interesting match we got going here. It looks like the teams are about ready to get started. And as far as what you talked about, it seems like both teams are going to be prioritizing getting those early supports. Or at least you feel like that Gambit are going to need to maybe re-establish what the correct 4-position player is for themselves.
I think the bans are going to be weird. I'm interested to see if the Nyx Assassin gets banned, if OG are even worried about that in the slightest. They do, like some of their heroes that they quite like are pretty annoying to play against the Nyx. They don't want to necessarily pick the Pugna or the Ember or anything like that into the Nyx Assassin. So if they really want those heroes, they might have to ban Nyx Assassin. That's going to adjust things. I think Gambit's bans are also going to be a little bit unique just because OG's drafting is also being a little bit unique. So maybe Enchantress gets banned
Nature's
or
Prophet
something
needs
like
to
that.
get out.
Yeah.
Also, Visage is going to get contested. It's one of the Gambit's most picked heroes and most successful ones. So I don't expect him to actually go through the first phase of bans. Also, they've been playing a lot of Ursa. And they itemize differently, considering that Ursa does not have any kind of a farm capability. He doesn't farm that fast as other carries, so he gets a Midas. We saw in the game yesterday where he gets Phase Boots, Hand of Midas, Blink, 12 minutes in. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, he was also finding a lot of kills with that too. So some of that could be getting enabled by his other heroes as well, and that's something we might look for in the various supports and whatever have you. Is like initiation coming from far away. Maybe somebody being able to sort of make something happen early on, like the Doom in that one game. It was just running at people constantly, and with so much movement speed. I don't know. Did he go drums in that also, or was it Vlad's? It was an early fighting item, regardless.
In which game?
The Doom game where he owned, and he just ran at people. And he kept killing them.
He went Midas, Vlad's.
Yeah, he went Midas early.
Vlad's. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. The interesting thing for me about Ursa is that he got so much move speed that he doesn't even need to skill Earthshock anymore.
Right.
Like people aren't even skilling it. They're just maxing out the right click skills and just running at people with face boots, and it works fine. You only need like a very minor slow from a support, and even in some cases you don't even need that.
I mean, he got nerfed so hard before. Now they even nerfed the 2 of his spells, and because of the move speed, he's still a viable
still
hero.
relevant,
Sometimes
yeah.
it's hard to get the right balance. You just give him extra movement speed, bam.
And
Suddenly
his
back in
whole
meta.
game is better, right? Because it's 15 move speed from the very beginning of the game.
Right.
You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to get any experience. It's completely.
but I wouldn't say he's broken either. I wouldn't say that this is a hero that like is out of control at this point. He just feels like he's a lot better.
He's just relevant again.
And it fits with what you want to do. Like you win lanes hards, and then afterwards you can go in and take the objectives and steal in a Roche or what have you. And like he's not even necessarily the worst pusher for tier 1 towers. You can like overpower and punch it a bunch. It's not like terrible at the very least.
It's not ideal.
No,
but,
it's not awful. Should I not be overpowering to hit towers? Is that what you're telling me here?
No, you should.
Okay.
But I'm not going to classify it as good push. That's what I take issue with.
The other thing too is that I think there's a whole subset of heroes that are comfortable tanking tier 1 towers to keep their catapults alive. And I think Ursa fits within that mentality of just in rage, you take a couple shots and then that waits for the next creep wave to get in. And then you can secure taking it.
And the thing about Ursa is you don't want to rotate early on because you want to get your items, so you expect other people to rotate to Ursa's lane to grab kills and maybe grab a tower.
A little bit of an update as to what's going on. We are waiting. They had to make a new lobby because the old one was not loading into
Yes,
it.
Griff was not loading. I'm just kidding.
Classic script.
Yeah, causing trouble. The English production.
He's a real
always,
troublemaker.
Always us. No, but so we are waiting for the last of them to get into that one, and then we'll be underway very shortly. Both of the teams anxious to start the battle. I think this is also 2 teams that like they're very friendly with each other. If you look at what Dahak's name is right now, it's LTW fan. They were like talking to each other beforehand at the very beginning of this and being like, you know, you went out last night. How many drinks did you have? They're like little jokey things like that. It's fun. You like to see that.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good to see some like friendly rivalry between the teams, or just some camaraderie. Like, I don't know. Dota's like one big family. Dota players have some respect for each other, at least most of them.
Until you don't.
Until you're in pubs. And then some guy wants to take mid from you, and then you roll and you win, but he takes mid anyway.
Of
and
course.
then
How's that thing still happening in 2019? That just blows my mind.
What, people
just
stealing-
just
people
stealing
stealing
your
lanes?
lane. Just move to another lane. Play a different. Sorry, I play only mid.
I only play mid. I don't play support. I can't buy wards. My mouse won't let me. I try and click.
That keyboard, Script was playing on it. It wasn't working. He couldn't click the same button twice, so he couldn't buy, wards.
He couldn't double tap TP to go
No.
home. That was the worst.
That was really sad. But
Is that the only reason why you lost?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't just like
Shadow
walking
Shaman
down lane.
performance 117. What?
No, it was 2-18.
Oh,
Do me credit. Do
sorry.
me credit here, man. But yeah, that's sort of the situation we find ourselves in.
Show me the math. Let's go to Lyrical's Dota buff. Not his Dota buff, his Dota profile.
It's
real fast.
Can we cut? Just cut away from that one.
Immortal with no number.
yeah.
Feels good, man. That's definitely what that is. So a little bit more about these teams, though. We wait for the game to get ready. You talked yesterday about immersion, playing on Mr. Bounty Hunter. We saw Ricky coming out from Vici Gaming and MDL just a little while ago. They owned with it.
Did they play position 4, Ricky, or was it the core Ricky?
I think they played it core.
I think it was position 4 because he was running around the map chasing crit and messing up his Enigma play. So he just
that's a classic counter.
yeah.
So immersion, he's the assassin of the couriers, man. He killed so many couriers, especially when he played Bounty Hunter. Now they're first picking Nyx Assassin, and in one of those games, he basically didn't do anything but try to chase for a courier, provide vision for his team. At one point, he had 1 kill participation, 6 deaths. Basically, if you look at it, he's not doing anything, but he's providing his team with crucial information where enemy is. Also, in one of those games, he managed to delay Lifestealer's Radiance, which was
It's a big
pretty
deal.
much game winning.
So my question
Until they
is,
lost.
Until they lost the game, yeah. But
It was a game-winning play. But,
Yes.
Yeah.
if they decide to ban out the Nyx Assassin, does he take a bounty or a Ricky? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Because that's one of those heroes that, like the Invis heroes providing that vision, that's a whole play style that you play around as a team, right?
It's hard to play Invis heroes in this
That's true.
patch because
6-minute
sentries last
sentries.
for 6
Yeah.
minutes. It's just too long.
I don't think they're picking it. I still maintain that they're not picking the Nyx Assassin for that like whole invis
No, you're not
scouting
thinking
kind
that.
of aspect. I still think it's really a lot about the draft pressure and having it against some of these heroes that just
especially
have a miserable time.
Especially what OG likes to play.
Yeah.
Both ILTW and Thompson, they love to play Ember Spirit, and they play it so well. And
But it's so hard
this
to
hero
play
just
against
shuts
Nyx
down
Assassin.
Ember Spirit completely.
I haven't seen as much of Ember Spirit recently. I was surprised. We watched
Well,
the qualifiers. He was
yeah.
owning.
Yeah, that's why. We were casting the qualifiers every single time Ember Spirit was available. They even first phased it a couple of times.
And the other thing, too, is that across multiple different teams, every single day he was getting rampages. That was the other thing. Like every day, it was an Ember Spirit rampage.
Okay.
There were like 2 a day. Like there was one
Dang.
day where it was Thompson that got a rampage, and then LTW in the game after that one got a rampage too. And maybe that's just like OG that was owning, but then it was other teams that were getting it too. But we do finally, ladies and gentlemen, have a draft that we can hop into. So let's take a look at that one as we get ready to go underway. OG facing off against Gambit in game number 1 here of day 2 of ESL One Katowice group stages. And I am so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
All right, continue, but with the singing voice.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Enough. So back to the game. OG has a first pick. Gambit chose to have a second pick. All right, Shadowfin first ban. There you go. Ember Spirit banned out. Are you convinced yet, Baseskip?
That Ember is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that I didn't believe you about the rampages. I was just like, oh, that's really interesting that would kind of happen, that one hero would have multiple rampages in one little event. Okay.
They know they're targeting. I think Enchantress.
this
They
is
might
good.
even ban Enchantress as their last pick. We
I like
we
these
already
bans.
discussed that we are gonna see some different approach towards banning phase in the first stage. There it is. Visage, kind of expected.
Yeah.
If you just try to do some research, watch the games, it makes a lot of sense.
The other thing about this patch is that it doesn't necessarily feel like there are too many heroes that are must pick, must ban, right? It totally depends on the team. And some of that is because that this is still a comparatively young patch. So I think it's much better to just target ban your opponents and what they've actually been playing and what you know they're good at, as opposed to trying to interpret the meta too much. And because that's when you end up in a situation where you're banning what you think is good, but you want to play. You're like, we think Visage is awesome and we love first picking it, but we don't have first pick, so we're going to ban it. And then you're playing against a team that doesn't really want to play it anyway, and all you've done is completely wasted a ban and made your own hero pool smaller.
Well, and I think that part of that is because there's no clear hero that is just completely busted right now. That hero has not arisen. And
I would argue that Lifestealer looked like that before the recent nerfs. But
we have seen some answers to it too, so it's not been completely awful playing against it.
People have tried.
People have lost with Lifestealer.
People have doomed him and he's run away. People have static linked him and he's run away. So they're figuring it out.
And so I will say that the thing that sort of sticks out to me as a little bit interesting is Gambit banning out the troll, and I think that's because they wanted to take CK early on. The blind kind of causing some issues with him early is maybe one of the things, because that's not a hero that OG have been playing over and over and over again. They've played it a couple of times, but that to me is the standout hero that's a little bit strange from their bans.
Yeah, I do think it's by and large that they wanted the Chaos Knight. They're going to grab themselves a Lich as well.
That's a good pairing. CK Lich, a lot of kill potential. OG, most of the time, they open up with No Tails hero. So it's either Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, Chen. I saw them playing with Chen. It's they're doing it really well, executing it. So easy to gank with Chen these days.
I'm interested to see if they bother trying for the Chen Tusk, or if they're going to feel like that's not enough solid lockdown in this situation. That might leave them open to Gambit picking some hyper-mobile hero. And
they just love their monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been picking this a lot.
And you think about it, Divine Favor with Wukong's command sounds kind of nice. Like keeping him alive, that extra regen that you get there, a little bit of bonus damage too.
Divine Favor on his crit.
Yeah. And then, of course, the other big thing is being able to pull him into a fight in a side lane if this is going to be the mid Monkey King. But they don't have to do that. We've also seen Jarex play it, most recently in the qualifiers, too.
5 seconds remaining.
I do feel like if you're OG now, you have to at least think about banning out that Doom, because you've seen it as a pretty good answer to Chen in the laning stage. Although, just because of both taking over the creep that he might summon and try and harass you, but also because he can out-regen the harassment that you get from Divine Favor.
That's true. Interesting that the Nyx Assassin gets completely ignored this time around. Maybe Gambit are shying away from it a little bit. They also banned 2 heroes that Nyx would have been good again. So they did just, instead of picking the Nyx, they just ban the Ember and the Prophet instead and just go from there. This draft's still very open for both teams, and we're still just continuing to see bans on stuff that they've been comfortable picking.
This is a great ban, because if you think about it, Monkey King does well against most of the melee heroes, but not against Ursa.
No.
You can't really trade hits with him.
Yeah, they have to do a little bit of legwork on the bans just to protect their Monkey King pick a little bit, because they have to at least keep the option open of it being a core, right? If they make it too obvious that the Monkey King is going to be a support, then they kind of lose the opportunity, or they lose that fear factor of Gambit not wanting to pick a mid that the Monkey King is really good against. Like, because the Monkey King is on the board and he could still be a core right now, they don't necessarily want to pick like a Dragon Knight or what are the mid heroes that Monkey King do pretty well against? He's also pretty good against Kunkka.
Monkey King is not that great against Dragon Knight if Dragon Knight plays well. It's not a Monkey King favorite matchup.
You don't think
more
so?
than 60%? No.
Well, okay. I
you just need to breathe
it's
fire
still
and
Monkey
pull
King
back.
favored, but
Depends where your lane is standing, but the Monkey King doesn't do that well against.
I've heard mixed things about it from various people, because I remember that this was an issue that they talked about at Chongqing Major. Was like Fogged was saying that he wasn't sure which way it went.
Yeah,
and
we talked to Sumail after that about this matchup, and that he should not win this matchup this hard against the Dragon Knight. If he gets Orb of Venom, his skill potential rises, but he shouldn't dominate the lane that
It's really
that
weird.
hard for sure.
So the Brewmaster ban out to defend the CK, sort of the same thing that you were talking about where you have to defend the Monkey King. Granted, not that we're thinking this is going to be a 4 CK or anything, but just that you need to make sure that you protect that core that you've taken this early. But they do take the Lifestealer afterwards. So revealing a lot of their cores early. I guess hypothetically they could run a CK support if they wanted to.
It could be CK5. FNG ran it a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if they had the CK as a support, they actually have a pretty lethal tri-lane at the moment. Lifestealer CK Lich is pretty...
But it's not going to be 5 considering that they have Lich. Lich really doesn't scale with items. All right. Steal their money.
This could be Seb. This feels like a Seb hero in a way. You know what I'm talking about? Like sort of get in there, mess around with people. And it's going to be Gambit that take the Earth Spirit. Okay.
So it's an offlane CK with... probably Lich, Lifestealer. Depends. I don't know. You can't really leave Lifestealer alone against Bounty Hunter because he's just going to steal his gold. We saw yesterday when Isis Ice was playing it. He was really annoying the first couple of minutes, but after that, he was just dying. You pop a dust, you attack him with Earth Spirit, he's dead.
The total gold steal for Bounty Hunter in that Isis Ice, it was like a 50-minute game, and he stole 1,300 gold. It just... was not, to me, it did not feel like a super relevant amount. It's cute, and Bounty Hunter is nice for the scouting and whatnot, but I'm still just not at all convinced by this hero. Do you guys think is it better position 3 than, say, position 4? Like, my gut says that you do actually kind of want to have him as a core instead of a support, because support Bounty Hunter is so dead now. Like, what he provides... if he's not actually right-clicking himself, is just so little because your team gets way less out of track than they used to.
I'm not sure what I feel about this Jug pick, to be honest.
This feels
they
really
have
weird.
no lockdown. They have 0 stuns.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
This could be a game where you even, well, I was going to say, but you could think about going Storm, but now that I think about that, it's actually not
when
that great.
I say 0 stuns, Monkey King stun isn't really that good. It's high cooldown. You need something shorter.
I mean, the biggest thing is that they don't really have an answer for Lifestealer to keep him under control at all. He just runs away from people. Yeah. And also, the Juggernaut pick, it's like, you don't really like Jug, I think, if you're not getting like the full value out of that healing ward. And is this going to be a lineup that tries to sort of push behind the healing ward? I don't think so. I guess that they're taking this because it's a survivable lane and there's not anything that goes through BKB right now for either team, really.
They might even grab Storm Spirit for mid. They're going to have last pick for Gambit, and
depends on the
considering
matchup.
that OG doesn't have any kind of lockdown, they could go for it.
This is such an interesting draft. I feel like it's definitely going to be ILTW Jug. That's almost for certain. And then No Tail playing the Chen.
But it feels like they're, I don't know, are they still waiting to pick Seb's hero, or is it...
Either of these could be...
I think it's Thompson's hero, maybe. It might be... For some reason, I think it's like Seb, Bounty Hunter, Jerax, Monkey King, and then we're still waiting on Thompson's
It depends on the matchup. They're going to pick a hero that can be played at probably multiple roles and with the Monkey King, and then they're just going to swap around until they see what Gambit wants to go for.
It's true. I think that actually is probably the best bet for them to still keep it open even with this last pick because Gambit have the ultimate last pick. But either of these could be, the Monkey King and the Bounty Hunter could either be Thompson playing it, it could be Jerax playing it. No, I don't think that it could be a Thompson Bounty, actually.
Well, that doesn't answer any questions.
Exactly, yeah, it's the same thing. So you just keep it open for all 3 of them, and then you pick the matchup that you want best mid. Because Gambit does not have that same flexibility. So OG are going to know who their matchup is mid, even though Gambit have last pick.
So they have more. They have 4 melee heroes against the Lich. I don't know. I can't make that much sense of OG's draft.
Yeah, I don't like
at the moment.
I gotta say, there's 4 melee heroes, not too much synergy. Tiny's the only one with the lockdown.
Yeah, their team fight is average. Their initiation is okay, but like Gambit are also pretty tanky. So once they get to a certain point, I don't think that the tiny combo is going to be too scary. I mean, even the Earth Spirit's pretty tanky. Strength growth is pretty solid.
I think the big thought here for OG is just win the lanes, and they've taken one person that doesn't lose it in Juggernaut, and then they have Monkey King or Tiny that can win the lane, and then they're just going to pick the matchup that's best for those heroes.
Gambit's lanes are good too, though, so I don't know if it's 100% clear that OG have the lane wins here. Though they should struggle to deal with the Monkey King a little bit. So
I'm thinking about either like a Pugna, Dead Prophet, or if they want to go for something like a Storm Spirit. All right, this is good. 4 melee heroes, Razor, a bit of a different approach. So let's see the roles. No Tail taking Chen, ILTW on Jug, and then
the two that we talked about.
Yeah.
It's like these are the ones that they know for sure, and then they're just going to try and figure it out from there.
Yeah, I think you ask Topson which hero he wants to play. This game, and then you figure it out.
I mean, it kind of is a cool strategy because the idea behind this is Gambit took second pick, OG took Radiant. So their thought is we're going to mitigate the detriment that we get by having you take second pick because we're going to make sure we get a good matchup mid, or at least have it open where we can get the least bad matchup mid. So they mitigate that advantage that you have of having last pick.
Kind of, but none of these heroes have winning matchups against Razor.
No.
So they haven't completely solved it. Just because that they have weaknesses in common.
Right.
I would agree that if they'd picked like, if they had like a Lina floating around that they were considering having as a support, and then they've covered multiple angles to the point where they're like, maybe they couldn't get Timbersawed or but this Razor picks.
All right, the game is paused. That's why screen is off.
Apparently,
Jerk says. And
but you can see the theory at least behind it. What I'm talking about.
They need more
there.
time to discuss.
Exactly.
Play what? So.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that it does feel like that's the whole idea behind it. Is you sort of leave yourself as open as possible, even up to that last pick. But maybe they went a little bit too crazy with the theory crafting, and now they're in that tough situation. Where, as you said, they all have the same weaknesses against a Razor, which is just such a good last pick from Gambit.
I just think Bounty Hunter is a bad hero as well. straight up. I don't like Bounty Hunter. I have not been convinced by this hero in the slightest. I kind of missed the old Bounty Hunter where he was like a viable support, and you could just build like 1 or 2 aura items maybe, and the track was super useful for your team. Track these days just doesn't feel all that useful for your team. He's supposed to be a right-click hero, kind of, but he doesn't have the stats or the skills to actually go toe-to-toe with pretty much any melee hero or any carry in the game.
I'm not convinced, but I think we're going to see more of a
you
bounty.
Think so?
Yeah, I think hero's kind of unexplored and has some strengths. As you mentioned, his stats are really bad, so he might need to go for some stat items. Definitely needs phase boots for chasing. Drums feels good.
But what's his niche? Like what's he for? What's the circumstances for a perfect bounty hunter game? Like, what 5 heroes do you look at on the enemy team and say this is the ultimate bounty hunter game?
You have a good heroes who can chase, have a good kill potential. You have extra movement speed to chase
like
them
Tinker.
down. Tinker, I was talking about
Disruptor.
Tinker yesterday, where you just give vision for rockets.
Okay.
It feels like the hero falls off after the laning stage.
So it's the same
especially if team is not doing well.
the same synergies as the old bounty hunter. That's
Yeah.
not
Right.
really not really utilizing the new parts of his kit necessarily. Because that's the direction that he seems to be going in, right? He gets this crit on track, and he's got the bonus damage and all this kind of stuff, and they're trying to emphasize on you actually hitting people as bounty hunter more. But I feel like that idea has still not been realized, or maybe people just haven't figured out the correct build for it. Like
I told you yesterday,
what if you
blink,
just- what if
4-step. You go in, steal gold, go back, repeat it.
You gotta buy like an Aeon disc and a and a Yules and a blink, and then you walk in and you hit him a bit. And
Blade mail, just blink in, blade mail. They can't do anything. Repeat, steal the gold.
I think the big thing too is like that you're playing this hero that, as you said, the old way is still the way that everybody is thinking about playing him, but
Kind of.
well, I mean,
People aren't maxing Shuriken anymore.
No, they're not. They're not. But what I'm saying though is that it's all of these people that are still playing the same style. That even though you're not maxing Shuriken, you're maxing Janata instead. You're still playing him where he goes and gets scouting information and stuff like that. And that style has been nerfed a bunch. So
Somewhat, yeah.
just by virtue of the centuries, that style.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a huge nerf. So it does feel like there needs to be more exploration in this other way, where maybe you can leverage the extra gold that you get from kills into items that make up for his stat deficiencies.
Yeah, he might just need better talents or something as well. Like I can't think of any. What are Bounty Hunter's standout talents?
The 90
The
steel.
plus 90
plus 90 Janata gold.
Janata gold
At
steel.
level 20.
All right, name one other talent that Bounty Hunter has.
He has 25% XP gain.
Yep,
That's pretty fancy.
that's pretty good.
Hey.
I don't know what that's up
Does he
against.
have Shuriken toss damage still? Like I
Yes, he does, but it's
25?
against the 90 Janata gold
Oh, it's
steel.
a 20. Okay.
Yeah. Attack speed, like that's the thing, right? There's a couple of these that look cool, like the 50 attack speed.
75 Shuriken toss damage, level 20 talent. If you someone has, I mean, all heroes have 25 magic.
Yeah.
They're gonna have more as the game progresses. So you're gonna
But
deal
if you buy
30 damage.
Wait,
wow.
is the Ag still the double bounce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this hero is all over the place.
I know, it's nuts.
They can't figure out if they want him to do like magical damage or right click or. Do you remember when he had the huge multiplier for Janata at 25? The cooldown is like minus cooldown on Janata at 25. You basically got basically a Janata every auto attack.
That's cool. I like that thing.
It was very strange.
All right, OG, what is happening? Let's go, buddies.
People are disconnecting. People are reconnecting.
All right, Thompson has picked Monkey King. Jarek's Tiny, and it's going to be a Seb bounty. What we kind of thought was going to be the way that this was set up. I mean, it still feels strange to me, but I think you're right, Basekip, that this is the way that you have to try and do the hero, because otherwise it just ain't happening.
Yeah, it feels similar to other position 4s, heroes that used to be position 4, and now they've kind of nerfed them in such a way that they can't really be position 4 anymore. Mm-hmm. Like Clockwork feels that way, though he's just kind of dead. In general, Naga, they've changed away from being a support, and I think Bounty Hunter is one of those heroes that they're trying to push in the direction of being a core. But I don't know. I don't like Bounty Hunter, so I'm going for Gambit this game.
Right.
That's
fair.
my extremely deep analysis on this situation.
I'll go with Gambit as well. Not convinced by these 4 melee heroes on side of OG. Not too much synergy between them. Lack of lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've been loving on OG this whole time. I can't not back him now after all this stuff that I was saying. And also, the real synergy that's going to happen later on this game, you're going to have Seb invis underneath this tower, and then Jarex is going to toss them into the Bounty Hunter. That's going to happen.
That's a cool play. One play that they did during minor qualifiers is have a Tiny and Mag. So Mag, he tosses a hero to a Mag, and then Mag skewers him to a tower. So you can basically do it from tier 1 tower to
like
tier
2,000 range
yeah.
out in the lane. Yeah, it's pretty great.
All right, on pausing, seems like we're ready to roll.
Wonderful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be OG facing off against Gambit. Game number 1, ESL One Katowice group stage qualifiers, day number 2. Did I say game series number 1, game number 1? It's all happening today for day number 2.
Yeah.
And we're actually into it now. So let's hop right into this game so we get ready to go underway. And the chat wheel is something we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of. Tips is something we're going to be seeing a lot of. I'm loving it. So as we get underway, we're going to have to say goodbye to Basekip. And it's just going to be myself and Lacoste for this cast. But he will be back afterwards. Of course, he will be listening to us talk and then making fun of us later for the things that we said, which is the good way to play in Dota.
Yeah, that's what we did when you played Shadow Shaman and Script played Mean Pangolier.
He was owning.
He didn't have the best keyboard. That's why you guys lost. And had Medusa with one of the most useless item builds that I've ever seen. And I've seen Mushi play Medusa for years.
Oh, look at that. Chaos Knight almost goes down. Very close to dead.
Steal his gold. They just stole the gold from Lifestealer. This game's dead.
Oh, beautiful. And he's... See,
It's
this
over.
is the thing, too. I knew that Seb was going to do this. He just goes in, he's going to steal gold, and then he's going to tip him. This is going to be, like, his new favorite hero. I'm sure of it. Oh, toss onto the bounty hunter.
All right, that's the combo.
I told you, it's happening. Now he can steal more gold. He needs 7 more seconds, but Dahak, he's down a pretty low HP after that period of time. And Jarek's also able to pick up another bounty rune, so 2 for 2. And another toss back. Give me your gold. Look at this man's GPM. It's off the chain. They can't handle it. He's going to keep trading hits, keep finding punches. Going to have another gold steal in just a second. Get over here, FNG. I'm tossing you to him. And
That's
he finds the
blood.
kill. Seb, what a baller.
What's happening in this game?
He has 900 GPM. You can't handle this man. 900 GPM at 40 seconds.
All right, get Boots of Speed. All right, that's it. Now just keep stealing Lifestealer's gold. They have a sentry ward. Are you convinced yet?
This is
Basically,
happening.
I can't hear you over here. He's shaking his head.
That was amazing. So first blood, stealing gold. He doesn't even need to last hit at this point. And on the other side, No Tail taking the pendants early, so not opting for the early points in Divine Favor that we've seen other Chens go for. Another toss back, get over here, give me the gold, give me some punches. And the bounty hunter is working.
This
Look at him go, he just keeps taking it.
This probably has to be the most annoying thing in Dota right now. Someone is stealing your gold at early game. How's mid doing? Mid, Razor. Okay, I have a net worth chart for some reason. I just wanted to see how much gold does Bounty Hunter have. Razor 4-2, Monkey King 7-2. So Monkey King not doing as bad as expected.
Yeah. He is having a very nice time so far, definitely. And just going to need to try and last hit to the best of his abilities. Has the boots early against the Razor, who does not have them. So that's probably some of the reason behind it. And also, the other thing that's going to be sort of scary about this is, you know, Seb can basically keep stealing gold here and delay these initial items that are giving him the advantage. Since he has the boots. And Thompson making the rotation at 2 minutes with a haste rune onto Afterlife, who's completely caught out of position here and is just going to go down. Maybe can find more as Immersion. Oh no, it's just going to be a TP away instead. So he goes back to lane and he can go for the Boundless Strike to heal back up if he wants to. As Seb is going to take some more gold from FNG, throw out the Shuriken, causing trouble, but Immersion rolls into play and now going to try to find Jarex. They toss back onto FNG, and that does look like they will find the kill onto that Tiny.
Lifestealer's had enough. He's asking for help. He's losing too much gold.
And it's about to happen more and more often as Seb does get level 3 there on the Bounty Hunter and is not taking another point yet as the No Tail denies himself to neutrals. He decides to go for the 2 points in Janata now. And we'll see if Jarex is going to be able to pull him in. Takes the early raindrops there as well to deal with the harass that FNG is laying out onto him.
You need to time it right when you're playing a Bounty Hunter for Junata, if you want to use it to get the last hits, or you want to use it to steal the gold.
Yeah. Oh, body blocks from No Tail there. Was trying to make the play with the Juggernaut moving in and possibly spinning onto him, but it doesn't happen. So early laning stage is the 1,000 gold lead for OG. Even though the lanes have not looked completely out of control, it's mainly, I think, off the back of the difference that you're getting for that Bounty Hunter, getting a lot in comparison to the CK. See if they can leverage that into more farm for themselves later, and of course, stronger laning. Illusion Rune picked up as well as ILTW back there with Afterlife, just trying to zone him out while No Tail's going to hold the creep wave in position here, and they're able to get the side pull off as well on a double range creep, actually. So it's pretty nice for them.
Jarex, this is his specialty. He wants to steal the creeps, steal the stacks. Every time he's just being annoying, and FNG using Frost Blast to secure the last hit.
Yeah. Now stealing some more
Give me
gold
that
again. He just keeps it happening and able to throw down those sentry wards as well to try and take away some of the vision. Steals away another bit of gold from FNG. Can only steal so much gold though.
Runes in 5 seconds.
Little tip there, something happening on the other side, and Jarek's ready to go for it. The toss with the kickback. Nice play from Aversion there. Will secure himself that rune, but it's also going to be Seb get in his chunk of change as Immersion tries to roll away, but interrupted there. Still was able to walk out.
Can they grab a kill on the bottom lane? No tail approaching.
Trying to find it. LTW is somewhat low on HP, but they're still going to be able to find Afterlife here. Goes for the stun. 3 seconds, actually. And Spin was still on cooldown. So Afterlife gets out. While Thompson trying to get away. It will not get caught by the roll, but will find the slow and a lot of damage, but they can't find the kill. Jarek's toss back, maybe? No.
Oh, Seb in a lot of trouble.
Steal that gold, turn and steal the gold, or just walk away. Does he live? Oh, he doesn't go down. He's not able to steal the gold.
It's the most satisfying kill you can get. Someone stole your gold, or you dropped an item to refill more and he destroyed it, then you get a kill on him.
Thompson gets a lot of that damage stolen away. Still has the bonus working though, so he can go for the lifesteal with the Boundless Strike if he wants to. Ninja could get wrapped on here. They also reveal that there is a regen rune bottom, which it looks like No-Tail is going to pick up for himself, is going to bring in these creeps as well, and they might decide to go onto this Razor, who does get clapped on. Hellbear Smasher, they're thinking about chasing. They have the wraparound coming, but they can't quite get into range, and Afro Ninja still getting punched on. And they find this kill. They ran out of stacks of the Jingu, and now No-Tail in trouble. Thompson also going to fall, and No-Tail can't find the kill on the Razor. So Afro Ninja gets out.
Really sloppy execution from OG. Tiny was not close enough to use any of his spells, and they just couldn't finish the Razor fast enough. I mean, you're diving tier 1 tower, a gank that's supposed to last a couple of seconds. It's prolonged to 15 seconds. Of course, there's going to be a reaction coming out from Gambit.
Kind of interesting here. We see the early crown picked up for the bounty. So we'll see if that goes into Drum's build that we've seen a couple of times. There's always the old classic of Bounty Hunter Dagon. Don't know if that's going to be happening, but it is going to be a kill onto Afterlife. The rotation coming from Thompson and Omni Slash used.
I feel like Hero needs phase boots and drums to be effective. You can chase, boost your team with the speed, with either track or drums.
Yeah. He does have track online right now. The phase boots there for Dahak as well. But they've brought No-Tail up to the top lane. Also 2 heroes from Gambit sitting behind this Lifestealer. We'll see if Immersion can make anything happen, as they might want to open up onto Seb here, and secondary track Immersion moving in. Just going to turn and steal his gold, because why not? And now, the rest of OG showing up in numbers. Do they have anything to catch on to these heroes? If they can find a good kickback from Immersion, that's going to save his life, but only for a second, as Seb is also on top of them with all these track kills. If they can find him, it's a huge injection of gold going on to OG. No-Tail is going to die underneath that tower, and likewise, ILTW is going to fall. So it ends up going terribly again for OG.
These trades are really not worth it. They're losing their carry for a support, even though they got some gold from that track, but in the end, I don't think that's worth it.
It definitely feels like, you know, normally trades are something that you're happy getting as Bounty Hunter, but if it's a couple of cores for that support, it feels a lot less good. And Afterlife running away from Thompson here. Gonna see if he can get up to the 4 count. Oh, chasing, running. Wraps around, gets the 1 second stun. Thompson, have you gone too far? He's going to switch over to the ulti and almost a full heal up, but Dahak shows up, and with the open wounds, the chase down, the run away. Thompson trying to live through it, but he got baited so hard into this. Is Thompson going to be able to get out? They got him in the sights, eyes forward, and they take down the mid from OG. The tip feels real bad.
Man, Thompson tends to be too aggressive for my taste, even though I like CIS Dota mentality. Sometimes you could see him playing between Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower 5 minutes into the game.
Wow. They kill off Immersion there, but are they going to be able to get out with the rest of these heroes? Stealing damage from ILTW, and he's going to be forced to try and spin TP away. Does look like he will get out. So OG able to escape from that one after finding the kill. And now Bounty Runes picked up. Thompson does come back and claim a return kill onto Afterlife, but it's going to be Gambit picking up four Bounty Run runes.
Aye.
Seb, this is the big question mark, is what do you do at this point as in the game as a bounty hunter? How do you help contribute to your team winning?
Delay their items by stealing their gold? I don't...
That's true.
They need to play aggressive. They need to use this track, try to get ahead of them with the extra gold coming out from that track. Earth Spirit is level 6, he has the dust.
Find favor, they take down that healing ward. Seb, on top of FNG, needs to run away as they roll in with Immersion 2. Not going to connect onto anybody there. So still sitting around this mid-tier 1 tower and holding onto it. OG, you can see, really want to keep a hold of this. They toss away the Lifestealer yet again, but Immersion on top of Jerax, who does not have any other abilities to throw out, but we'll just TP back home.
Just TP out.
Thompson again diving. Seb is there. You gotta be careful. Able to bait out the jump through, and, well, Immersion wasn't quite able to catch on to the Monkey King there. So OG force some rotations bottom. They head back, get their farm on, and it's gonna be the Monkey King going for a Solar Crest early.
Yeah, we saw this kind of a build on him in the minor qualifiers. He even went for Deso and... was it one more Blightstone, or am I dreaming?
I think that was what it was, yeah. Just max minus armor. I do feel like, though, there's this kind of sense that Gambit have been able to get away with a somewhat greedy offlaner in this CK, and if he can get towards some decent farm, it's going to be a big problem for OG. Jerax wanting to toss away Ninja, but they're keeping their distance really well. Get the full damage stolen away, but at the same time, OG is able to take the top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, this is the time where I think Bounty Hunter's not contributing anything, especially if your team fight is not as strong as other teams.
Oh my god, Immersion, what a player! He kicks away Ninja, who is gonna get omnied now, but lives through all of it with the Frost Shield on him. The chase forward come from Thompson. They want this kill desperately, and they will find it, but can they get any more? All of OG is here, and they're able to kill off the Lich as well as the Razor. Both dead, both done, and just streaming forward. They buyback on the Razor. OG need to get out of here potentially, as everybody's gonna start running back into this fight. They have their eyes now onto ILTW, but the boundless strike from the high ground, enough to get him out. And OG able to escape with murder and a buyback.
But they have no stuns, they're just deeping out. And they're playing well with the Bounty Hunter. I just said that he's not doing anything, and then suddenly 5 OG players show up on a mid. They get the 3 track kills plus a buyback from a Razor.
I mean, that's big. This has been one of the issues that we've seen with Gambit in the past, is looking good through the early stages and then a quick crumble, and then things start to fall apart from there. So we'll see if they can get themselves righted, because if these trades happen like that, we saw over a 2,000 gold lead, exchange in that last fight. Pops drums, chasing forward, but a rage TP away is going to keep the Hawk alive, but was able to get a couple of good solid steals with the right click there.
Gambit just needs to chill for a couple of minutes. They need that Radiance on a Lifestealer. Razor needs to get his item. He's building towards Yule Scepter. That's great to get rid of the track. He can also control Monkey King in a team fight.
Oh, Thompson dodging away, but might still be not long for this world, but he turns around with the Wukong's command, trying to live through it. They have the Divine Favor on him also, so he's getting that regen up. Needs to get the lifesteal. Can he count up? He does, but it's not going to be enough afterwards. Is Ninja able to claim his kill, and ILTW needing to run away now from this lifestealer. Seb's still looking. They no longer get that bonus track speed on ILTW, but Seb's moving forward. Now they can see if they can kill off that Razor possibly. Although Jarek's also under fire. They're going to toss Dahak towards No-Tail. He doesn't want him either, but they kill off the Tiny. So OG giveth, OG taketh away, and Gambit able to clean up in that fight.
I feel like OG's lineup is gonna fall off, especially if they fight like this. They're way stronger right now. You're fighting into a lifestealer who basically has no items right now. Once he gets the Radiance, it's gonna be tough.
Well, they have Immersion here, the kick, but he's still sticking around and trying to take down this Earth Spirit, but everywhere that they look, FNG is making plays to keep them in this game and keep heroes alive. That Frost Shield is so nuts. So Thompson switching into the tree, the Centaur getting involved in this one as well. Boundless Strike comes out, Thompson trying to run, trying to hide. Does he get out of here in time? No, not happening.
You'll Scepter is such a great item on Razor. He can dispel a lot of things, buy himself some time during Omni Slash. And they kind of lack control. They have CK stun, they have Earth Spirit stun. Other than that, they have none, considering that Lich doesn't even have a point in Sinister Gaze.
That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that Radiance is very close to coming online. Meanwhile, the Jug is going to be going for the Battle Fury.
And you have a CK who has his Hand of Midas finished, so his items are going to come quickly after that. Also, he's going to get a lot of levels with it. Hand of Midas plus GPM talent.
I know, it's really nice if you can get there. I do wonder if Reality Rift Pierce's spell immunity might be worth it this game for the Jug. Just getting all those illusions onto him. I don't know.
And Monkey King is going to get BKB at one point.
Yeah.
So that's a full Solar Crest on Monkey.
And they still can't take that mid-tier 1 tower. Both of the safe lane towers have been taken. It's Thompson moving up to the high ground here. Immersion is going to spot him, able to dodge away from the roll. And now just going to be stunned before he can get off the Wukong's command. This Monkey King is dead. And Jane Frost bouncing back and forth between the Catapult and No-Tail. He goes down, going to lose his creeps.
What? Well,
tries to roll to break that TP, but it doesn't quite happen in time.
Lifestealer is going to finish his Radiance in the...
What is Jarek's doing there?
Next couple of minutes.
What the hell? He's going to be found out and doesn't have enough mana yet for a TP, so this is going to be a dead Tiny. But they did get the kill on the Lich at least.
That's really not worth it. You just gave gold to Razor, who's extremely farmed right now, and I love the item build. Straight into Heaven's Halberd. Against the Monkey King, against Jug, it's so effective.
Dude, look at Seb. He keeps on stealing away the gold so the Dahak can't get his Radiance. He's like taking it away, but I think that with this kill, it's probably going to be enough given back to the Lifestealer that it's not worth it. I don't know, maybe not. It looks like LTW pulled back in, gonna get the tower denied as well. Hand of God, seeing if they can turn this fight back around. LTW was for the Bad Fairy, try and walk away, and it is happening good enough. The toss away also. Jarek saving his core, but he does lose his life as well.
This looks like tier 1 tower is gonna go down. Can they defend it? Monkey King has Boundless Strike.
Now it's gonna be tough. Seb moves into position, seeing if he can steal a little bit of gold in a second here, but it's gonna just be pulled back in and mauled to death. They don't have any heals. The silence coming out from Immersion. Omni Slash with the Battle Fury. I'm not sure if it's gonna be quite enough. Everybody from Gambit is still looking very healthy and able to dodge away from that stun. Thompson living, but they pull him back in with the Reality Rift, and LTW still under fire. Ninja does not go down to the Juggernaut, who's disarmed and eventually going to be killed off. A big Boundless Strike with the Avalanche toss. Is he going to kill all of them? They're live on nothing, 25 HP.
Oh, that's only level 2 toss. That's why.
Oh, no. And then they get away. 6,000 gold lead. Gambit recognizing their moment, and now they've got their Radiance online, which you're talking about.
It feels almost impossible for OG to win this game right now. They had their chance. Bounty Hunter was strong at one point where they needed to play aggressive, try to get their items online with the track gold. Jarex. Oh, that's gonna get dewarded.
Caught yet again. Does have mana for TP away as well as stick charges.
The old Scepter, he can't TP out.
Yeah, it's too much. And he can do ring around the rosy all he wants, but will eventually go down. And you can see heavily into the favor. OG going for a desperation play here to see if they can maybe turn the tides of this. This is a big play for them. Solar Crest on Roche means that this goes down very quickly, and Gambit does not appear aware that this is happening.
They know now because they didn't show on any runes.
Roll in. Immersion, he gets the silence, he gets the magnetized out. Roche is still alive. They need to finish this off and climb in. Are they going to be able to get it? They are able to, but it was a Roche kill by Gambit, and now they're in the den. Can they get out of here in time? Oh, Monkey King is going to go down in just a second, but they got out with the Aegis at the very least.
It's looking tough for OG. At least they managed to snatch the Aegis with Jug.
Man. But yeah, that they would have loved to get that extra injection of gold, because this is, again, the type of hero and bounty hunter that just doesn't do that much at this stage in the game. Like, he's providing soon a pipe aura to the rest of his team, but it needs to be a little bit more, it feels like.
The problem is Tiny doesn't have an item. He's building towards Force Staff, which is great against the Lifestealer, good against Razor. But who's going to be their frontliner? That's the problem.
Yeah, there isn't really a great hero for it. At times, it's looked like maybe Monkey King is the option, but he hasn't been able to get the Wukong's command off often, which would give him that extra armor. And as you were talking about, the strength that you had of the Razor and what he was doing, he has really good itemization, also going for that Heaven's Halberd. And now you've also got a CK going for an Aghanim, so just going to try and buff somebody up that much more.
What Aghanims are we talking? Oh, CK, what?
Oh, wait, he had it queued up for a second. Maybe I was looking at somebody else. Regardless, he's going to go for a heart instead, because why not? You can just destroy people. Speaking of which, Thompson, dead again. And man, Gambit is looking quite good at this point. OG Draft may be going a little bit too crazy here.
Their team fight is so much worse. Even with the Aegis, I don't think they can team fight them.
No. This is like an Aegis to not end the game when Gambit get it.
This is going to be a second tier 2 tower gone.
Jump in immediately. They find Seb. Dust comes out, and he is going to hit the dirt. Bounty Hunter does not live for very long at all. Jarex also trying to save his buddy, but it was far too late. He will also go down in Avalanche, connecting on a lot, but it's only tickling Gambit, who are going to walk up onto high ground. Boundless Strike barely stopping them, and I think Afterlife is saying it all.
They're going for high ground right now.
Why not? There's absolutely nothing to stop him.
Monkey King has ulti if he wants to try to stall.
23 minutes on high ground, taking down this tier 3 tower, and it looks like Gambit are not going to tempt fate, as all his OG is going to be coming back up again. So they need to try and wait this out, it feels like, and get their Jug online. I mean, really, it's like get your bounty online too, but how does this hero catch back up? It's by virtue of fighting, but you don't really have heroes that can fight that much, and Seb is just going to walk uphill immediately, get initiated on. He does manage to walk away as that Force Staff came out from Jarex, keeping his life alive, but will eventually be able to track down the Bounty Hunter. They take down No Tail. ILTW also in some trouble as he is just getting pummeled. Loses his Aegis. Thompson was completely controlled as well. A 3-second stun. They pull him back in, take down the Monkey King. Nobody has buyback right now as ILTW has to TP back to base underneath a tier 3 tower. And yeah, they are going to take this building and probably at least a set of racks.
Yeah, this is looking all Gambit right now. There's no comeback potential with the heroes that OG has. He can try to creep skip, maybe delay the game a little bit, but it's not looking good.
ILTW is underneath the ward there too, so they know that he's out here in the jungle. Afterlife has the Blink Dagger in a second if you want to try and chase him down, but it looks like they're just going to back up after taking that initial racks and head on over to the side and sort of secure the rest of these towers because there's still a tier 1 up in the top lane, which will eventually get taken out now. But yeah, this is looking like a spanking.
With the Shiva's guard finished on Razor, he's sitting on 27, 28 armor when he has agility, power treads. The vision that he provides for his teammates with Plasma Field and Shiva's guard is just too good.
Well, Omni Slash, it's a bold play, and that's not going to happen. You got to do something, I guess. Oh, this is definitely tough, and they do have Sinister Gaze here. They're going to be able to find it, but LTW wisely is going to TP away. So 25 minutes, 18,000 net worth lead. OG need to hold out if they at least have a chance, but I mean, it really feels like at this point, it's dependent upon Gambit going too deep and then overextending in like 5 track kills or something.
Yeah, if Gambit decides to dive Fountain twice, it's definitely OG's game. Other than that, I don't see them winning this game. I'm always trying to find something positive, but I don't know, maybe if they overextend in Monkey King's ulti, their vision is non-existent at this point.
Dude, they're stealing that Afterlife money. Avalanche toss. Look at all this money. It's the comeback right there. That's all they need. Oh, run away. Get me out of here. They have the dust. They pull Seb back in, and this is a dead bounty hunter.
The only one who shoves the wave fast is Juggernaut because of the Battle Fury. Monkey King does to some extent.
Oh, God. Do they get him? FNG, Sinister Gaze, the turnaround. Dahak is here. FNG is living through it all, and now Thompson is going to get ran down. Gambit. Oh, they dropped their ulti on the position 5, and they can't kill him.
Sometimes it's better just to call the game and go the next one instead of them basically humiliating you for the next 10, 15 minutes because you feel so useless you can't do anything and it can get into your head.
Yeah. It's fair enough. I mean, it really does feel like you look at it and position 5, no tail on the Chen. This hero does not team fight to come back into the game. Bounty Hunter doesn't really team fight to come back into the game. So it's all on the Monkey King and the Jug and, well, Jerax, but it's just not enough at this point, and they're just getting completely obliterated. Buy back into the game for the Tiny. They pull in Seb, 1 round of Reality Rift, and he is almost dead. Immersion is not going down here either, and they just have to walk away for the moment. Boundless Strike coming out. Jerax, buy back, he needs to walk away from this one, but will be a godlike streak for Dahak. The chase down. Thompson is also going to the grave. ILTW soon to fall, and this is finally going to be GG as Gambit will take game number 1.
And it felt like OG had a chance to get so much advantage in 15 minutes. I guess that was the plan, just try to run at Gambit, get a lot of gold with track kills, get some items online, but it never worked out. Also, Thompson got caught way too many times. And let me check the most important thing about this game. How much
Show me the money.
How much gold
Welcome back,
Bounty Hunter has stolen?
Oh, where's it at?
It's
1,043.
Yeah, just 1,000 gold. That's not that much.
At the end of the day, it was, what was it, the lead. A lot more than that, certainly. But yeah, you guys are talking about it. I think one of the biggest things, Afro Ninja 18, 1, and 12 on this Razor. He went off. He had a hell of a game.
Yep, and then Thompson completely fell flat on his face as well. Like, we saw him diving the CK bottom. There was nobody else around. It was just him versus CK, plus the tier 1 tower, and there was just ring around the Ro3. Lifestealer TP's in. It's a completely free kill. Like,
their decision-making to dive the towers was not the greatest, and even the execution was failing.
Yeah. Well, a very tough one for OG. I think that maybe you chalk this one up to the draft, possibly. There were definitely problems with it, but like you said, there are also some decision-making things.
You can win with this kind of a draft for sure.
Right.
Just snowball so hard with the Bounty Hunter, but it was not the greatest draft, and what the Gambit had in this kind of a game is it's hard to crack a nut like this.
And the Razor last pick was so killer.
Yeah, Razor last pick blocked all of their heroes in terms of having a good laning stage. They were trying to have an upper hand by having 3 heroes who can be played at multiple roles, and Razor just blocked that.
No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in just a little bit with game number 2. Stick around. We'll see if OG can pull it back or if Gambit are going to take a 2-0 lead in group number A. See you guys in a few.